I'm Elizabeth Warren, and I'm here with one of the main leaders who fought for student loan debt cancellation and who muscled it across the line. She is amazing, and this is concrete proof of both what she fights for and what she gets done. I'm here to celebrate with Congresswoman Ayanna Pressley. President Biden's canceling student loan debt is a time of relief and joy for so many people. 20 million people woke up this morning, and for the first time in their adult lives, they owe zero in student loan debt. Another 23 million woke up and their debt burden is at least a little bit smaller.
That's right. This is truly a day of celebration, a long time coming. Senator Warren, thank you for your persistence on behalf of the many families and people from every walk of life who have been burdened by this debt. And so this is a day of celebration because with the flick of a pen, President Biden is delivering meaningful relief to millions of families who will finally be free to pursue their dreams of purchasing a home, growing their family, building generational wealth, because they are no longer weighed down by this crushing debt.
So we're both data nerds. Let's start with some numbers. Ayanna, you want to kick us off?
Absolutely. Now, you said it already, but it is worth repeating. 43 million people will see some form of debt relief here. A majority of them, about 60%, are Pell Grant recipients. Now, Pell is a form of federal aid that goes to families with modest incomes who qualify for help paying for college. And people who get Pell will get the most help from the president's plan, $20,000 of debt cancellation.
In fact, nearly every Pell recipient comes from a family that makes less than $60,000 a year. Pell borrowers are disproportionately borrowers of color, disproportionately parents, mamas, daddies who are trying to go back to school, disproportionately veterans, disproportionately first-generation students. You and I have spent the last several years talking about this nonstop. And we do it because it's a nationwide problem, and it's a problem right here in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. We have nearly 1 million federal student loan borrowers in Massachusetts. And as we've been out talking about this, we hear from them. I know you've got stories, Ayanna. I've got them. Why don't you tell one of yours and I'll tell one of mine?
Yeah, first I just have to say what a big deal it is that people have been willing to share their stories, because along with being burdened by this debt, Senator, as I've learned, when people have been willing to share their stories, they're also carrying immense shame. Mm-hmm. And all along, I've just, reminded them that the fact that you have this debt is nothing to be ashamed of. The shame is that it has taken us this long to do something about it. And so that's why this is such an important day. But one of the stories that I've carried with me throughout this is that of a 76-year-old constituent, 76 years old, still paying on this debt.
Yeah.
At this point, they're paying more than they even initially borrowed.
Yep.
Educators who went into debt because they want to be nation builders. They want to pour into our babies, set them on a path to make a contribution in the world. And they're raising young children, and they can barely afford childcare and the monthly minimum payments on their student loans. And of course, parents who are still, paying on their own loans, 60 plus years old, and also now their children's loans. So this is an intergenerational crisis. An economic crisis, a racial justice crisis, a gender justice issue as well. And I'm just so glad that thanks to your leadership and thanks to the leadership of President Biden,
yes,
heeding the calls of this movement, and with the flick of a pen, help is finally on the way. And 43 million people, their load is just going to be a little bit lighter.
I have so many people who come up to me and say, thank you for fighting to cancel student loan debt. And then there'll be a pause, and the person will look down and say, and I have a lot of debt. In the past few years, I can't even begin to count the number of people who've started to cry because they don't know what they're going to do. They're doing their best. They're busting their tails every day, trying to make a living, trying to make a go of it. And the student loan debt just keeps weighing them down. the burden just keeps getting bigger. And how now, exactly as you put it, Ayanna, help is on the way. President Biden has done the right thing. And now we have something to celebrate. And I just want to say one more thing before we close. This would not have happened without you, Ayanna. You have been in this from the beginning, a partner in persistence, fighting for this change. You hold these stories close to your heart. You never forget who you are fighting for. You never gave up because you saw that if we stayed in the righteous fight, we could make a real difference. And it is an honor not only to fight alongside you, it is an honor to celebrate alongside you.
Thank you, Senator. Anytime, shoulder to
Anytime. Let's do
shoulder
it.
to shoulder with you in these righteous fights.